Hello, and thank you for joining me. Okay, today might be a long one. I've been guided to just share what I have come to know the universe as so far, which is a doozy, which is a big one. So, I feel like the place I'd like to start is with the fact that all of the religions describe the same thing. But like, obviously we know that, but like, I'm gonna go way more into detail about that right now. So just also, not that it matters. I just want to say I feel like most people that I've met who are the people I would consider the smartest often don't have college degrees, and I'm so okay with that. I do not think that you need a college degree or education in that sense to understand things, right? I do have like an emphasis in religious history in my degree, so just keep that in mind, which is where I got a lot of this information from. So I feel like the easiest way to go about this, because everybody probably gets the idea of like, oh, we're all talking about the same love, the same God. I'm not talking about that right now. I'm talking about very specific like prophecies and ideas in religions. Okay, so for example, I recently watched a video describing a lot of different religions' beliefs of the afterlife, and it was kind of like a quick video, kind of fun, animated. Like the dude was just like running through them quick and like being like really absurdist about their descriptions, right? But in that sense, because he was being so absurdist, I just like realized that in the abstract, everything is like nearly fucking identical, okay? So for example, in like the early 1900s, like, okay, before I get into this, let's talk about the concept of the new earth, right? Because I feel like that's what a lot of them are describing, like this new earth idea. And I think that's where I'm going with this. Okay, anyways, back to the 1900s. Jehovah's Witnesses came about. Apparently my grandma was one, never met her, but apparently she was one. And basically what they believe is that you do your stuff, you do good, and then you get like put on reserve soul-wise. Like you're just like waiting around for the new earth to come. And then when the new earth is here and it's like heaven on earth again, that's when your soul gets reincarnated, more or less. I don't know if they use the term reincarnated. Oh, you dogs, dude. I don't know if they use the term reincarnated, but wow, lots of chaos happening all at once. But I don't know if y'all can hear those geese squawking, the dogs barking, but okay, new earth, right? So they have this theory, but then on the same level, like I believe that the Mormons also believe in a kind of new earth, heaven type area. And so keep in mind that we have to step a little bit back from the definitions, but we are also sticking to the definitions here. So when people are talking about getting a life on a new planet, or coming back in like a perfect era of Earth where it's like, or a copy of Earth that's perfect, right? These are all the same things in my head, because I'm like, why wouldn't they be? So imagine in modern terms, if we were to just describe what this new Earth would look like realistically, what if the new Earth and the heaven on Earth is real? It will be real once we all kind of come together, which I feel like is happening now with technology. We're really uniting and like finding our niches and finding our people and like getting over really petty things because we're able to talk to people that we were never able to talk to before. So what if this new Earth is once the Earth heals, right? What if these new planets that people come back to is just the Earth once it heals, right? Because to me, they're all describing the same thing. And then let's keep in mind on top of that, that people give very specific timelines. Like for example, the Buddha gave a prophecy of a 2,000-year timeline. And keep in mind, this man was placed sometime around like 500 years before Christ. So that's pretty accurate timeline, like timeline-wise, okay? So he gives a timeline of 2,000 years. They say, Buddha, now that you've brought these great teachings to Earth, this is gonna be perfect and wonderful, because like, duh, like it has to be now, right? And he's like, oh my sweet child, oh my sweet, oh no. And he's like, it will be for like 500 years, that shit's gonna be sick, it's gonna be toy, you know? But then, like, because everybody's practicing the Dharma, everybody, which is like the teachings, he's like, everybody is following the rules, they get the power, they understand the purpose. And he's like, but then the next 500 years, like that passion for the Dharma starts to dwindle, and people start to recognize the real power behind it. Not that it's just to live in harmony, but that they can take the power in like an egotistical way, right? So he's like, okay, now that the next 500 years is people kind of like teetering between like, oh, we're very faithful and living in harmony, and people be like, I can be sus, I can steal, I can be a thief, I can do whatever I want for myself and make people think that they're doing good just even though they're doing it for me. Fantastic. And then so 1,000 years in, next 500 years is going to be people taking over the institutions, using the institutions as law. And because keep in mind that ancient civilizations, to us, they had ancients, right? So I'm like, they understood law, and they had all of these political discourses and shit too, right? So he's like, institutionalized religion's gonna come in and corrupt the Dharma. They're gonna change the Dharma to mean only like to benefit their institutions. It's gonna be twisted. People are gonna misunderstand the teachings, even if they authentically try to learn it. Like, they won't be able to, girl. Like, it's just not gonna be possible. And they're like, oh God, so then what happens, Buddha? And he's like, y'all, last 500 years of this 2,000 year timeline, chaos, war, disease, mad corruption, mad suffering. Everybody's just doing fucking horrible because nobody's following the Dharma. Because it was so corrupted 1,000 years ago that nobody even knows what it is anymore. And he's like, and that's not their fault. And he's like, the only people that'll really be practicing the Dharma are people who are not in the institutions, right? And he's like, and then the people who are in the institutions are gonna be highly egotistical. They're gonna be like out for money. They're gonna be working for nothing but their own well-being and not anyone else's, which is not the Dharma. Say it with me, not the Dharma. Okay. So tell me why the Buddha's timeline lines up like perfectly with the description of every coming of Christ story, every new prophet, every type of like earth being resurrected type beat. It always comes in the same type of manner where people lose sight of the teachings and then they come back. So do you see what I'm saying, where all the religions, even beyond just talking about the universal love, because I feel like that's a given, we're not talking about that. I mean, like, they're describing literally the same events coming to, they're prophesizing the same things in this physical realm on earth, which is kind of crazy if you ask me. Like, not crazy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, there we go. Fantastic. Oh, fantastic. Just great content right here. Wow. Amen, brother. I'm so sorry, that was urgent. Y'all had to see. Oh my god, they're so cute. Oh my god. Y'all see what I'm saying though? And then back up to even bigger scale from an even older religion. Let's talk about the Jainists. Do you know who they are? Jainist. The Jainists. Jainism. It is the predecessor to Buddhism. Okay, there was the Vedic society, what we might consider ancient people, and they had a chasm within their religion. Vedic astrology, it's very different. Well, different enough from Western astrology. Oh my god, dude, those ducks. But Jainism, they have a timeline of 26 billion years, which is crazy. But do you know how old physicists think the universe is? Would you believe me if I told you 26 billion years? And do you know what happens at the end of their 26 billion year cycle? A bodhisattva comes and re-teaches the people about the meaning of the actual religion. Is that not what everyone else was saying? And then okay, so some religions say, oh, you'll come back once the earth is healed. Some religions say, oh, there's gonna be like a Christ figure, a bodhisattva, a new Buddha to come and talk to the people. Okay? Are you staying with me here? It's the same thing. And if they don't talk about that, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I need to stop messing with this and just leave it be. I just woke up and didn't do anything. But they're describing the same shit. And like, even like, if you're like, well, 26 billion years is quite different than 2,000 years, they're talking about different time scales. They're talking about bigger time scales, but they're all leading up to the same event. Like, y'all see what I mean? That in the Mayan calendars, which I'm not even gonna say just end at 2012 or whatever, because let me tell you, we don't know if that's true. I was doing some research on it. There's 144,000 days in the calendar, and basically somebody, from my research, I was having a hard time telling more from this, but somebody just assumed that it began in like 3114 BCE, BC, before Christ, I don't know. But like, I could not figure out how they decided that. I was like, was it off of astrology? What was it, just vibes? Like, how did they decide that that's the year to start counting? You know what I mean? But regardless, let's just ignore the 12 date, okay, because that shit overplayed and doesn't matter. But their calendar, if I'm just assuming they went off astrology, because I literally cannot find any like an answer, but I also could look harder, whatever, doesn't matter. They also, the Mayans followed astrology. They followed two types of astrology. They actually had two calendars. One that was like a 360-day calendar, ish. I don't remember the exact days. And then another that was like a 260-day calendar that went off the moon cycles. And it was after 144 days that those calendars, I think, like, synced up or something. They both completed a cycle on the same day, and that's why they were like, and then people just put the date 12 on it. Jesus. Because it seemed nice. So I couldn't find any real reason to believe that. But the Mayans did have a calendar that did emphasize that there would be a turning point in cycles at some point around now. Okay? Are you staying with me? 26 billion year cycle. Physicists think we're 26 billion years old. 2,000 year cycle from the Buddha. It's been about 2,000 years since he was around. The Jehovah's Witnesses, they're coming back at some point to the new earth. And like, what's gonna bring the new earth? The ending of these cycles from the Buddhists, from the Jainists, from the Christ religions. Like, the coming of the Christ, the coming of the Bodhisattva. Like, that's gonna be what this new earth is, right? And so I've been thinking a lot about it. And even in a meditation, I like asked, I was like, so is there going to be one figure, or like what's the tea on that, spirit? Because like, I don't think that there could be one person who could efficiently talk to over 8 billion people in one lifetime. Maybe I'd like to hope so, that'd be pretty sick, but you know what I mean? And like, basically spirit showed me like, no, there's local people everywhere that are the teachings of the spirit. Like, they live it, they represent it, they show it in what they do. And like, whether or not they follow a religion, or if they call themselves atheists, like, them living the teachings, the Dharma, is what it has kept it alive and what is going to revive it. That is what the Bodhisattva is. And so I guess my point here is, the word Buddha means enlightened one. The word Christ, it comes from the word Messiah, which is like also just a word that means teacher. Like, it means teachings, teacher of the teachings, I guess. And so when people say Christ consciousness, when they're talking about the Buddha and like the Buddha mindset or whatever, I don't know if people call it that, that's, I think, what is going to bring the new earth. I don't think that we have to wait for a coming of Christ. I don't think we have to wait for like a specific person to be born and to like rise up. But I think that the consciousness is already back and we're already tuned into it. And I think that it may have been easier in the past to represent these ideas through one physical person, but we're at a point in history where we don't have to do that anymore, because we can all like spiritually connect with shit like bada boom bada bing. Hello, what's on my shirt? But yeah, so do you see what I'm saying, where they're all describing the same shit? So let's keep going on it, because I am not done here, because they all describe the same shit. Okay, another thing, let's talk about the chosen 144,000. Sorry, I have dyslexia, so sometimes I gotta like really think about it when I'm speaking stuff out loud. But okay, y'all ready for this one? In Buddhism, they believe that there are literal different physical planes of existence that different types of spirits live on, right? So we got like the ghosty ghouls, we got the gods, we got the demons, like the hell realm, we got the human realm and the animal realm. And these may not imply what you think. Basically, it's just different types of people live there. Like the ghosts, they're known for having like really skinny mouths that can like never slurp up enough, and like it's like a metaphor for addiction, regardless of what type of addiction. Like, these people will always be hungry and it'll never be enough for them, is the point of the skinny mouth that can never like drink enough, right? And then there's the realm of the gods, and the gods are not great people. You want to know who the gods are? The gods are people who were born into so much privilege that they never had to interact with the outside world. So like picture the type of people who like when you tell them that you can't afford to go to the doctor, they're like, how is that possible? Like, you can't afford the doctor? Those people, those would be considered gods, okay? Which I think valid. The animal realm is just people who are like driven by instinct, right? Very cool, very interesting, as in the realms. Anyways, this isn't what the whole conversation is about, but they have these physical realms that exist at different frequencies. And I believe that these realms, even though the Buddhists put words to it, could be the same thing that you could put an auric field to, that you could put, like, just the different vibrations, like how people are like, oh, you won't cross paths with people who are like too low vibrational if you're just not like that. I think that's how this exists. I think they were right on the money with their guesses, right? So then on the same like mindset, there's like the new spiritual people, like the new age spiritual, and I've heard a lot of theories where people, and like this combines all of their religions, I feel like. So they bring a lot of different things from ancient religions, from modern things, and I've just heard a lot of people say that there's 144 vibrational levels to existed, right? So remember back to Buddhism, they have a bodhisattva figure that comes at the end of that 2,000-year cycle to enlighten everybody, right? But Buddhism accounts for the fact that there are multiple realms. So there's a bodhisattva for every vibrational level, right? And this is so goofy, but it's true, okay? There's a different bodhisattva for each level. So tell me, how is that not the same as in the Bible when it reads, I have 104, like I have 12,000 of 12 types of people. Like imagine if those were just different people in the different vibrations. Like what I saw in my meditation, where they're like, no, there's somebody in each group to like raise up everybody that like brings the Christ consciousness. Like even if it's like the smallest group of like 3 friends, like there's a person in there that has it. Like everybody has a purpose, you know? So tell me why Buddhism describes the bodhisattva in each layer, and then the Bible literally names numbers that everybody else believes is like the amount of frequency levels. And I'm like, does that not account for the coming of the new earth and the everything? Like the Dharma returning, right? So I'm like, there's a bodhisattva in each 144,000 layers of realms, of vibrational existences, and all stands true. Like there doesn't have to be just one Jesus. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how they're all describing the same shit? Like, y'all hear me on this, right? Because another thing that I used to see a lot was different colors of the earth, which is really crazy. And I always took it as like, this was before I learned about the different realms in Buddhism, so I really had no idea what to make of it. I was just like, there are different frequencies that people exist at, I guess. And I was like, because it was like, what I kept hearing in my head when I would meditate on it is bring the colors together, bring the colors together, bring the colors together. And that's the only answer I would ever get on it. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? But I really think that it means to, that we have to bring back the Christ consciousness, or like the Bodhisattva and like the Dharma and the teachings. Like, I think that's what that implies. And like, that's how you make the new earth, by like bringing everybody's vibrations together and finding equilibrium amongst all of us. Because when I see the multiple color earths, and you can check out my poetry profile if you want, I have it as my profile picture because I made it because I was seeing it so much, but I have like all of the different colored earths like together, like oscillating, but like in my head they were like always moving, sometimes separating, as if they were in their own orbit with themselves, kind of like a superposition particle, you know what I mean? But all the different colors of earth. And that's why sometimes they would like interact, and like sometimes the light, like I always pictured pink to be like really sweet, and then like the yellow was just kind of like meh, you know? So like sometimes they would overlap, and it's like all these people are like, why the fuck did I have a bad day? And it's like a type of astrology that you can't even see, right? So this is just what's in my head. I don't know if this is written anywhere, but I believe all of these theories come together in that. Am I wrong? Because would it not make sense that if, like, say the Jehovah's Witnesses did well in this life, and then they were put on like a spiritual guide team to help bring the new earth, like, would that not make sense? Is that not all describing the same shit, people? And then if you go back and you start studying ancient Egyptian religion, and you read the original translations of the Bible, that shit is the same. That shit is the same. Like, literally, like, the details are so specific and similar, which makes sense because, like, They're all from the same area, yada yada. But like, why do we talk about ancient Greek religion and stuff like that as if it's like an obscurity when a majority of the world practices that shit today? Another point, bringing up ancient Greek religion. Thank you, Spirit. I'm convinced Prometheus is the Abrahamic god. Hear me out. Hear me out. So, Prometheus, he designs human, right? His brother, I'm like blanking on how to pronounce his name. I'm like seeing it in my head. Sorry, you don't have dyslexia. Basically, his brother is supposed to be like forethought, and Prometheus is supposed to be afterthought, or vice versa. Don't quote me. It's early, dude. Okay, that's not my point here. My point is, his brother makes all of the creatures on Earth, right? And they all have very specific jobs. And he's like, yes, like, yes, little bugs, clean the dirt, yes, geese, like, eat the fish, you know? And then Prometheus is like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to make now, bro? And so he makes humans, and he loves them because they're adorable and they have no real purpose than other to just be his little people. And he loves that. So he makes the people, and then they're just like doing their thing, yada yada. They get fire on their, I believe they just have fire. And then Zeus takes it away from them because they're misbehaving, the people. And then Prometheus is like, my people didn't deserve that. Like, they're doing their best, Zeusy, like, girl. So Prometheus steals back the fire and delivers the fire to humanity through what? Through burning fennel stalk. Have you seen a picture of fennel stalk? Maybe I can insert one somewhere. Pause for fennel stalk. It's a bush. Tell me why in the Abrahamic religions, God comes to man being like, listen, I'll help you. I got you. I'm in a burning bush. Prometheus. That bitch is Prometheus. Tell me I'm wrong. Yeah. And lastly, because this video is getting quite long, which I'm happy about because I was worried. I was like, God, what if I start ranting about these theories and they actually like are so short and go nowhere? That would be crazy of me. Last thing. No, this is straight out of my intuition's ass. I have not found this theory anywhere necessarily. I feel like ancient Egyptian religion is like the closest that it's come to, but what if the universe itself, we all know we're a oneness, we all know we're an entity together, that we all exist, you know, we all get that. If you're here, you get that. What if the universe itself, say, is an entity, say, let's just pretend it's a dude in a different existence. What if this is his punishment to go through a karmic cycle? Like, what if the different universes have karmic cycles? It fits the color aura description, because like if there are different vibrational levels and they all have a different type of karmic path to go through, and they're all trying to come together by completing all of their karmic paths to exist in harmony, or maybe not to exist at all, that's my theory. Oh my god, dude, the duck, can you see them? They're all in a little line. Like, that shit's so cute, dude. Look at them. Oh, and there's that pigeon. Anyways, I have become convinced that the bring the colors together refers to everybody completing their karmic cycles and liberating everyone. And now, I personally believe that existence would stop existing, at least in the 3D realm that we understand it as, because I believe that this was just a way to endure the karmic lessons to those fucking ducks. Oh my god. Dude, like, shut up. Like, have y'all ever seen something so precious? I'm literally, oh, yes. Oh my god, yes. Oh, they're perfect. Anyways, I'm so sorry, but I have no regrets because they're so adorable. Oh, hi, bird. He flew right at me right when I looked at him. That's so cute. Anyways, you know what? Yeah, everything's completing its karmic cycles. Maybe not to exist at all, because what if existence only exists outside of the 3D realm and this was just built for us to endure the karmic lessons? Yes, that's where I was. Oh my god, the ducks are walking in front of me now. Yes! Thank you, Spirit. This is, oh, it's just one duck, but god, that duck is cute. They're just going up to a dude who's hanging out over there. Do you see what I'm saying though? That everything is the same. Like, it's just, I don't know. At this point, I feel like it's crazier to believe that religion should be divided and not talked about as if they're like describing the same exact shit. Because, I think it's pronounced like Craigenford. I don't know. He's cool and he has an accent. I'll try to tag him maybe in the comments or something. But this guy makes incredible mythology history videos. And I feel like that is a great representation to show that, like for example, he shows how, oh, more ducks! He shows how Inanna and Hera and just many other great ancient goddesses were all pretty much almost certifiably from the same stories and origins, and that they just gave a new name and like kind of changed the meaning. But like the ducks, at the end of the day, they all originate from the same thing and are talking about the same stuff. I don't know, man. I'm just saying, think about it. No, I'm totally, you get me. But yeah, okay. I love these ducks. It was 144 on my number thing. Oh, bro, the words, they're gone. Yeah, I'm done. Thank you guys. I hope that made sense. I hope we can all understand that the universe is crazy, complex, everything and nothing, and all at once.